Thank you so much, Mr. Chair. I am going to try to get through a lot quickly. As one of the few people sitting on the dais who actually practice criminal law in the state of Texas, as well as I'm licensed in Arkansas and practice there, as well as federal courts, one of the things that you said earlier, Mr. Bier, really stuck with me, is that there are already laws on the books as it relates to those violent criminals. And I know this because even though I hail from the great city of Dallas, I can tell you that when someone would come in and they were being held in custody for, say, a crime, they also had an ICE hold, okay?
So in this video, we're going to see Rep. Jasmine Crockett go in on Donald Trump and the Republicans for the constant fear-mongering and spreading of lies and disinformation when it comes to immigrants and immigration. As per usual, I'm going to let this video play through because it's not too long, and then I'm going to give you guys my thoughts towards the end.
And that was for those that had maybe been deported before and had re-entered illegally and things like that. And so no matter what type of city you're in, I do want to be clear, federal law already, no matter if it's under the Biden administration or if it's under a Republican administration, we all agree that we want to be safe. And I think that's the first premise that we're losing, because there isn't something that is tatted on my head that says that I'm a Democrat and therefore you illegal bad person, don't come for me, go for the ones that have the R's on their forehead. Now let me be clear about this as well, because we've talked about crime and we've talked about fentanyl specifically, and this is also something that I have dealt with, unlike some of my other colleagues. And listen, I'm gonna be honest, because I actually wanna fix problems. And I actually have a really good senator in Texas, and I'm sure y'all can guess which one is the good one. But let me tell you, if we care about fentanyl, I have multiple bills for that. I started on the state level before everybody started talking about it, and I have federal bills that my senior senator has signed on to. So I welcome my colleagues because I actually want to make sure that my communities are safe. But as we start to talk about crime and statistics, Mr. Bier, I want to play a little game with you. It's called Rhetoric versus Reality. And so I want to ask you, my first question, is this rhetoric or reality? Immigrants commit more crimes than US citizens.
On a per capita basis?
Rhetoric or reality?
Oh, it is rhetoric.
Okay, thank you so much. Mr. Chair, I'd like to ask for unanimous consent to enter into the record this article, which states that undocumented immigrant offending rate lower than US-born citizen rate, and this is from nij.ojp.gov.
Without objection.
Thank you so much. The next one, immigrants are just living off the federal government and contribute nothing.
That would be rhetoric.
Okay, thank you so much. Mr. Chair, I would ask unanimous consent to enter study that says undocumented immigrants pay almost $100 billion in taxes. This is from the Alabama Reflector.
Without objection.
Thank you so much. My final rhetoric or reality question is immigrants only enter at the southern border.
Rhetoric.
Okay, right, because they enter all kinds of ways. I just wanted to make sure that I put that out there. In fact, I have a few more questions because I still got a little bit of time, which I usually run out of time. We have talked again about crime, and there's been this overemphasis on it. And honestly, I can tell you that I don't want anyone to be killed, whether it's here or anywhere else. There is nothing about me as the child of a preacher that makes me say that I want people to die, okay? So I feel as if my colleagues from across the aisle have decided that they are going to make immigrants the boogeyman. It's insanity to me, but they also are showing compassion for victims, which they should, but they have no compassion for people that are contributing to making us great in this country. So interestingly enough, I'm curious to know, Mr. Bier, if you know if immigrants contributed to these particular crimes. There was a mass shooting in Buffalo, New York that killed a number of African Americans as they were trying to shop for groceries. Was the defendant an immigrant in that case? Do you know?
No, he was a US-born citizen.
Thank you so much. Charleston, South Carolina, there were black churchgoers trying to praise the Lord. they were killed. Was that an immigrant that perpetrated that or not?
No, that was a U.S.-born citizen.
Thank you so much. Now, coming home to Texas, there was an El Paso shooting. Do you know if that was an immigrant or not?
No, they were targeting immigrants in that case.
In fact, each of these cases, it was white supremacists. And so the last unanimous consent that I'd asked for is this article that states that white supremacists behind over 80% of extremism-related U.S. murders in 2022.
Without objection.
Now, this was really, really powerful for Jasmine Crockett because this is a problem that we're seeing, not just in the United States of America, but we also see it right here in the UK. Now, what you find is people that are on the right, that are on the far right, a lot of these MAGA individuals right here in the UK, you've got Reform and you've got the Conservatives, they try and demonize immigrants to make them out to be bad. You know, one of the things that you hear them saying is, you know, criminals, they call them all criminals. But just like you just saw when Jasmine Crockett asked Mr Bier about it, you know, when you are taking a look and you actually do research and you look at data, people who are immigrants are less likely to commit crimes versus the actual native individuals that are born in these actual countries themselves. Same thing is probably a matter of fact right here in the UK. That's a fact in the United States. Now, just by simply doing a little bit of research, and this is the problem with MAGA, unfortunately, because MAGA are typically the uneducated, they don't do basic research. They will take what it is that they're spoon-fed, what it is that they're told, believe it to be fact, and they will just run with that and that alone. Basic research will let you know a few things. Number one, immigrants, they boost economic growth. Okay, looking at the research that it is that I've done right here, immigrants contribute approximately 2.2 trillion annually to the US economy. Okay, 2.2 trillion annually. Next thing, immigrants, they strengthen key industries. And we know the reason as to why. The reason as to why is because immigrants are willing to do jobs that the native individuals from the actual countries that they immigrate to are not willing to do. Same thing in America, same thing right here in the United Kingdom, same thing. And what happens is when we find out that immigrants, let's say they're no longer turning up to work right now, what's happening in the USA, you are literally seeing states are struggling, are being brought to their knees because immigrants are too scared to go to work, plain and simply because of the fact that Donald Trump and ICE are out looking for these individuals. And now economies and states, I can't remember, please let me know in the comments and remind me what state it is that has been brought to its knees because of the fact that they no longer, immigrants are no longer coming to work. I can't remember what state it is, but please let me know in the comment section below this video. You know, another thing, immigrants pay more in taxes than they take in benefits. Same thing right here in the United Kingdom. Like, these are factual things, and the reality is people don't want to accept these basic facts. They don't want to accept them. And we're literally seeing, and that's the reason as to why it doesn't matter who you are, whether you're MAGA, whether you're an independent, whether you're on the left, you should be outraged and frustrated that what Donald Trump is trying to do with immigrants and immigration. Now hear me. I know there's going to be some MAGA clowns in the comments that are going to turn around and they're going to say things like, no, they're criminals. They're criminals. We don't want, oh, are you advocating for criminals to stay in our countries? No. If somebody is an immigrant and they're a criminal, go about the right processes. 100%. Go about the right processes. If you've got to get them out of the country because they're committing crimes, get them out of the country. Cool, no problem. But we know that factually, not every immigrant is a criminal. As we said, we know that they're going to do more good than they're going to do harm. Donald Trump's policy with ICE and what it is that they're doing, guess what? That is doing more bad than it's actually doing good. Mass deportation is going to harm the economy. It's a fact. Literally a little bit of data I've got in front of me. Deporting all undocumented immigrants would reduce the GDP by 4.2% to 6.8%, equivalent to 1.1 trillion to 1.7 trillion annually. That is the cost of demonizing all immigrants to be bad people. That is the reason why, if you've seen the video of what these guys have done, taking immigrants now, yeah, and just packing them up and shipping them to El Salvador, you should be pissed off. And please excuse my French. I apologize that I'm swearing, but you should be pissed off at what it is that you saw. Because you saw an administration that are literally just focused on play acting to the American people and what's the word that we call it? Trying to fearmonger them into believing that an immigrant is a bad person. That's factually not the case. And it's so good to see Jasmine Crockett here fighting for immigrants, fighting for showing the facts, along with Mr Bier, who knows his stuff. I've covered some information about Mr Bier in the past before on the channel. You can go ahead and you can take a look for that. But we should be annoyed and frustrated at what it is that we're seeing. Okay? We should be frustrated at what we're seeing. Immigrants should be welcome. They should. As long as they go through the right processes, they should be welcome. That is a fact. Really, really good arguments and a really, really good way to put things across by Jasmine Crockett here. As per usual, guys, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below this video. I'll be interested to hear your opinion on MAGA and how MAGA like to fearmonger and spread disinformation when it comes to immigrants. While you guys are down there, please do me a favor and hit the thumbs up button. And if you're brand new to the channel and you want to join the family and you're interested in a person who lives overseas and you're interested in my opinion on American politics, hit that subscribe button and join the family. We'd love to have you. I'll see you guys in the next one.